You're live.
All right.
Hello.
Peace and love. Peace and love. I can't see myself. That's okay.
Oh, here, let's get that going.
All right. And say hello, Bones. We got
And
Bones
it's
in
another
here.
beautiful day in paradise.
This is Bones, the guy who finished Nikola
you
Tesla's work, which you will find in my book, AmericanWatersheds.com, basically, and has a device in his pocket that basically ends every 99% of soft tissue issues will be resolved in atomic science. So that's one of the things. But this is going to be right here. This is Citizen Journals. Okay, I don't want to jump too fast, but this is Digital. People know me. We've done thousands and thousands of videos, Craig and I. So, none of them have ever been edited. Where we go around, the Appalachian Mountains, a free clinic in DC, all over the country, and we show people future science and technology that basically you can take care of a soft tissue issue, no matter what it is, by
Right
going
from
to
your pocket.
by taking care of the inflammation of the atom, which will take care of the inflammation of the cells and the molecular, and basically normalize any soft tissue issue that you've had. And we've done dogs, cats, horses, just about every soft tissue issue known to man over an 8-year period, and we're still batting 1,000. So it's very exciting. So this is Bones, and he'll be continuing to share Tesla science. We got Elon Musk calling all the time because of course this is Nikola science. This is the the future, free energy.
No drugs.
Getting rid of gravity. You don't think the aliens are actually fighting gravity, do you? Anyway, all of those future sciences, the sciences of the pyramids and the Bible, which of course explains all the numbers in the Bible. So we'll have a lot of exciting episodes talking about the mathematics of the pyramids and the Bible and a whole bunch of different things. So there's a whole bunch of sciences. We're going to have different shows. We're going to have Age of Aquarius Technologies, where we'll show VidCom, which will end 5G. We'll show reverse osmosis pipelines from oceans to deserts. When the water rises up from the Antarctic, it creates a desert. That's where you grow food. Once we have Tesla energy, or there's many energy sources, but basically we could end hunger and symbiotic or organic food, clean water. The oil of the future is clean water. So we have all these different things, a lot of different technologies we're going to talk about. Space Angel to protect us from CMEs.
Well, we've only got a few minutes today.
Okay, so that's
trying to
another
get one in the
show.
can.
So also this is Citizen Journal's headquarters right here. We're going to be at the daily update, 100 different Citizen Journal channels, hopefully using some AI. Scan through the channels, give you the big stories of the day, the whole roundup. I just had Bowden sitting here, so I had to do the thing. So anyway, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the Citizen Journalist Roundup every single day. And all these different exciting things. Harry and I, we've got Harry the Greek, of course, Naked Truth News, which I'm always helping.
Let's talk about Harry's big
stories.
story here today. Is
The big story right now, that's where we should be our lead story. I'm sorry, but Bones is here, so I had to do that. But anyway, the lead story is with Harry the Greek, because this Somali story, which if you go to the Naked Truth News, you'll see he's had this story for 5 years. He's been on this Somali fraud, the daycare centers, the feeding. If you notice, this story was from 5 years ago, the feeding this bogus hunger, feeding the people that wasn't feeding anyone. What was it? I forgot the name of the program, Feeding the People or something like that, but they weren't feeding anyone. So where I started out my journey basically in college was with food banks and food pantries, and it was all first getting started. And I encountered this enormous same thing, waste, fraud, and abuse in a big way. Whole warehouses full of food being wasted, embezzled money in the government. They were embezzling grants, selling food on the underground to unions. This is where my whole journey began in my book. It's kind of where it all began for me, was with the, you get in these things because you want to help, you want to do the right thing, and you want people to be helped. And then you find out there's always this corruption that comes in, and a lot of these bureaucracies, churches were involved, and all the same things that we're facing in this story. So it's like everything in my story is just coming full circle. So anyway, Harry's had this Somali story for 5 years. You'll see that's a story from 2019. He's already talking about these charities. He's got the governor of Ohio and his wife on TV with the Somalis talking about the charity, the very fraud charity. So like, it's amazing how, upfront all this stuff was, and no one ever looked into it. So this, what's his name? Nick Sorter? Is that the kid? in a week, he's got 1 million followers. And
Yeah, how
I
about
kind of
we
feel
play-
bad for my citizen journalists that have been working for 10 years. You know what I mean? The kid's a star in 1 week. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But Nick Shirley, yeah,
We'll
he's
play
cool.
his little
We're all
video
for
here.
Nick Shirley. Yes, we love this. We love this whole
Let's see,
idea
let's
that
play.
these citizen journalists are going to be popping up all over America. And right here at Citizen Journalists headquarters, we'll be able to show clips and pick out, important news stories. And kind of, this is a George Webb's kind of central headquarters. So he puts in his content every day, and we're just trying to fill in some other content. We've got the music from Michigan, the last of the legends of Motown, and the rock and roll stars of the past. I mean, Kid Rock wants to do something, all kinds of people. We're going to have lots of music and lots of stories from Michigan because this is the battleground state going into the election next year. We've got a lot of exciting citizen journalists popping up in Michigan. We've had the same type of fraud. We've had this CCP takeover of our elections. And a lot of these stories are going to go right back to the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party that took over our computers and our elections. And a story that I was on, boots on the ground. And, after I got to East Lansing there, they emptied their offices the same day. I mean, they ran, took out all their equipment on Okemos Road, Connect Corporation, Eugene Yu. The president of Michigan State resigned, the county commissioner, the city manager, the county prosecutor, the deputy sheriff, the dean of the business school, and the president of the university all resigned. Okay, just with no reasons, just suddenly, resigned suddenly, I was starting to call it. People were resigning all over the place. So people were very nervous that we were getting close to this story. No one was interested in this story, just like the Somali story. And all of a sudden, the Somali story breaks, and it's just everywhere now. So Harry was 5 years ahead on the story. Go back and read the stories at nakedtruth.news and brassballs.blog because we've already had it all for you all this time, and now it's hitting. And that's what's going to be happening with a lot of these stories. A lot of Georgia stories are doing the same thing.
We'll play this little video that Harry's
Sure.
got linked here.
Yeah, go ahead and play it. Yeah, they're dancing, right, with the, this is the governor's wife dancing with the Somalis from the very same charity that was busted, where it all began in this investigation. Oh,
We're gonna get to the bottom of all of it. There's a
that's
giant
Trump,
scam.
that's right.
Can you hear
And
it?
than that, we're gonna have a great new year.
Yeah.
I view that as a reason for a good year because we're gonna get to the
Plan
bottom.
through here,
We're gonna
huh?
get that money back. It's all
We're gonna get that money back, he's saying, yeah. 18 billion, he's saying that's what we know of. And he's saying California and New York are worse, So that's what President Trump was saying about it. But really, I think it really started when I was talking to Barron. Comes, go and I go back and forth a lot. We're both students, young Barron and I. And I got him on this Somali gangs, child sex trafficking the kids. Which also I wonder with this whole, that's part of the story that nobody's got to yet, is this child sex trafficking, and these are daycares.
Yeah,
that makes me nervous, okay? Because the chief of police in St. Paul, Minnesota, testified in court in the European Adoption Agency trial that these kids were being child sex trafficked by Somali gangs to these truckers. That's what the chief of police testified in court. Okay, we have the court records. This is not a conspiracy theory. Okay, so that was what kind of set off the Trump family. Like, we better find out what's going on in Minnesota. You know what I mean? That sounds terrible. That's horrific. I mean, it's a nightmare. So obviously, I think, Mrs. Trump probably, and I think they got a little upset about that. And they started they knew there was a lot going on. I mean, it's not like we didn't know there was a lot going on. We know there's a lot going on in Michigan. We know there's a lot going on in California and New York as well. So it's interesting how this particular link led right back to Ohio, where also there's a Somali daycare owned by and then of course, there's another big story I got to get to. I just thought of too, but anyway, so that's the Somali story. Continues to cover it at nakedtruth.news. We'll continue to cover what you citizen journalists are going out and finding. I guess all these other states have these Somali daycares and all this kind of thing, but we'll be looking to find out where are the kids, where the kids. That was what happened with the European Adoption Agency. There was 40,000 kids child sex trafficked, but they're all eligible for a settlement, but not one can be found alive.
Well, I
where
think
are
that's
the kids?
that might be our time slot. We were trying to just get one on the camera here. Sorry, we got a great new producer here behind the camera with me.
Okay,
And we're
there
trying
you go. Yeah, we're getting the kinks out. This is just a test run, so I'm all over the place. I don't even know.
We're
where
just
going live,
using
so.
Greg. We're just using Greg to, get some
Yeah,
talent
and the
on
other one I
camera.
want you to get to is that story out there in LA at Naked Truth News with the CCP. This Karen Bass, basically, I mean, her chief of staff is Chinese Communist Party. He's part of the China. That's her chief of staff for the county and all that. I mean, it's like they've completely submitted to the. They want to make it is basically they've surrendered California to the Chinese Communist Party, just like our officials here in Michigan surrendered our elections to the Chinese Communist Party, and not just for Michigan, but for the whole country when these votes got sent all over the place. I mean, these votes were going everywhere and being changed from everywhere. We know that the 2020 election was rigged, and that's my line in the sand, and I'm not going to stop making a big deal about it because, we cannot have the government overthrown by the Chinese Communist Party by stealing our votes in our elections. So that's kind of like we're here in Michigan. We're going to be doing it all year long. We're going to keep uncovering the facts. Neighborhood News Studio, they were there at the TCF Center when the 400,000 votes, I think it was. I think they were, trying to reduce that number. Wasn't it 400,000 votes that showed up? You guys
At 3 a.m., the 3 a.m.
The
drop.
3 a.m. drop.
I don't even think it was that many.
And of course, we have Nate Kane that has all the evidence that he's dropped on the cyber fraud from Lansing, where the votes were changed by the computers. So, there's a lot of evidence out there, and like President stressed, we have this evidence. It's up to the people to continue to file lawsuits and civil lawsuits, and President Trump continuing with this civil RICOs. And I know he's hiring all these civil attorneys right now, and we really hope that he brings in Harry the Greek to help with that because he's really good. Of course, we've got all the work of Ed Johnston, who is the ultimate authority on civil RICO, and I know a lot of the other attorneys don't even know what it is or never even heard of it, But we have to go after them for their personal assets and get the evidence in court. And the civil process is the way to get the evidence in court. And then you can get the other, because the legal cases will take years and years if you just go the regular. And of course, with all the judges, I do believe we're probably headed for the Insurrection Act in the end before this is over, because this is what we've had as an overthrow of our government. And I think a lot of people feel that's coming. But
well, for now, I think we got to cut it here.
Okay.
We got in the can.
That's
we got
just
your Twitter
a
on
test
the
run.
screen.
There's so much to talk about. There's so much music. There's so much science. There's so much art, news, all the stuff. So,
If folks want to hear more from you, Greg, that we got you on the screen there. What, Love Tour Media?
Yeah,
Love Tour Media on Twitter. And where can they buy your book?
I think it's you got Gregory Scott Clark. I think it's Love Tour Greg, or is it Love
Tour Greg. Okay, Love
It's
Tour Greg on Twitter. And where can they buy your book?
American Watersheds.
Awesome.
American Watersheds. Like if you're a person, a change agent that helped change America, you're an American watershed. So these are AmericanWatersheds.com. These are people that did something and got out and got in the fight and helped change and make America great. And that's what we're asking you to do, is to become an American watershed and to jump into this and help make America great. And whatever talent and treasure and time that you have to give to this special time in history to be alive, So that's what it is.
All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow. Or
All right.
see you more in the
Sounds
future.
great. We'll
Thank
see
you, Greg.
there.
All right, press that right
Peace
there.
and love.
Peace
Yeah,
and
try
love.
that.
Always peace and love.
There you go. Nice. All right, Ed.